Neapolitan pizza. In the crowded streets of late 19th century Naples, pizza was a meal for the working class. Simple flatbread topped with tomatoes, baked quickly in a wood-fired oven, and eaten hot from the hands. Vendors sold small, round pies to laborers on their way to factories and docks. By the 1700s, Neapolitan pizza had become a staple of city life. Its soft, chewy crust blistered from the intense heat of burning wood. The most iconic version, the margherita, appeared in the late 1800s, dressed with tomatoes, mozzarella, and basil to echo the Italian flag. Today, the margherita recipe is protected by European law, and the Associazione Verace Pizza Napoletana enforces strict rules on dough hydration, oven temperature, and even the variety of tomatoes allowed. Only a pizza measuring between 22 and 35 centimeters, baked for 60 to 90 seconds in a wood-fired oven, can claim the official title. Across the Tyrrhenian Sea in Palermo, Sicilian bakers crafted a different tradition called sfincione. Thick, spongy bread formed the base, topped with a sweet, onion-forward tomato sauce, and a dusting of breadcrumbs. Sfincione was hearty and square, built to feed large families or crowds at street festivals. Cheese, if used at all, played a supporting role. This style traveled with Sicilian immigrants who later adapted it for American tastes, layering on mozzarella and baking in deep metal trays. When Italian immigrants arrived in New York at the turn of the 20th century, they carried these traditions with them. The city posed new challenges. Wood was scarce and expensive, while coal was cheap and plentiful. Coal-fired ovens burned hotter and longer, creating a crisp, charred bottom and a distinctive flavor. In 1905, Gennaro Lombardi opened a grocery store on Spring Street and began selling pizza to fellow immigrants. His employee Antonio Totono Pero crafted pies with a thin, hand-stretched crust topped with tangy tomato sauce and mozzarella. To feed workers who could not afford a whole pie, Lombardi cut the pizzas into wide, foldable slices and wrapped them in paper for easy eating on the go. This adaptation, thin crust with a crisp cornicione and a soft center designed for folding, became the blueprint for New York-style pizza. The city's fast pace demanded food that could be eaten standing up, walking, or riding the subway. The New York slice was born out of necessity and ingenuity, its roots tangled with both Neapolitan and Sicilian traditions, and shaped by the pressures of American urban life. As coal-fired ovens gave way to gas, and as pizza spread to every borough, the foldable slice became a symbol of the city itself, portable, affordable, and endlessly adaptable. In 1943, Chicago's pizza scene took a sharp turn at a corner storefront on Ohio Street. There, Pizzeria Uno introduced a new kind of pie, one that owed as much to industrial baking as to Italian tradition. The dough, pressed into a tall, round cake pan, formed thick, buttery walls that could stand up to the weight of layers. Cheese went in first, followed by sausage or vegetables, with a bright tomato sauce poured on top. This reverse assembly protected the crust from getting soggy during the longer bake, and it sparked a running argument. Was this a pizza, or was it a casserole in disguise? The deep dish's height and heft demanded a fork and knife, making it a sit-down affair. Ownership claims still swirl between Rick Ricardo, Ike Sewell, and even Alice May Redmond, but the style's signature remains undisputed: a towering golden crust, cheese first, and a bubbling top of sauce. A few years later in Detroit, another industrial tool changed the shape of pizza. Buddy's Rendezvous, a neighborhood bar, needed a way to bake large, hearty pies for auto workers coming off their shifts. The answer came from the factory floor: blue steel pans once used for holding small auto parts. These pans, sturdy and rectangular, produced a pizza with a crisp fried bottom and a light, airy crumb. Cheese, often Wisconsin brick or mozzarella, was scattered edge to edge and melted down the sides to create a caramelized lacy border known as frico. Only after baking did stripes of bright red sauce get ladled across the top, a move that kept the crust crisp and the flavors distinct. The result was a pan pizza with a crunch you could hear, cut into squares for easy sharing. On the East Coast, Frank Pepe fired up coal ovens in the 1920s, chasing even more intense heat. The coal's fierce burn seared the bottom of each oblong pie, leaving a signature char and smoky finish. The thin, chewy crust became a canvas for simple toppings, but it was the white clam pie, made with garlic, oregano, and fresh shucked clams, that brought national attention. Each slice carried the mark of the oven, blistered bubbles, blackened spots, and a texture that balanced crispness with chew. The coal oven method, with its high temperatures and quick bakes, produced a flavor and texture that set New Haven apizza apart from its New York cousin. Across Chicago, Detroit, and New Haven, the tools of industry, cake pans, steel trays, and coal-fired ovens did more than shape pizza's appearance. They defined how each region layered ingredients, baked their pies, and built a local identity. The height of a Chicago deep dish, the caramelized edge of a Detroit square, and the charred bottom of a New Haven apizza all trace back to choices made in kitchens shaped by innovation and necessity. Buffalo's pizza identity is anchored by cup and char pepperoni, those crisp-edged, spicy coins that curl into tiny bowls as they bake. Some shops swap the usual tomato sauce for a butter-garlic blend, sparking fierce debates about what counts as true New York pizza. The argument is as much a tradition as the pie itself. Downstate, Grandma Pizza emerged in Long Island kitchens during the 1970s. Without access to heavy ovens, families pressed dough into rectangular pans, creating a thin, crisp base. Fresh mozzarella, garlic oil, and herbs finish each tray. A lighter, faster baking answer to the Sicilian, perfect for weeknight gatherings. In northeastern Pennsylvania, Old Forge pizza is baked in metal trays and cut into squares. Rivalries run deep. Some locals defend the original red pies, no mozzarella, just sweet tomato sauce and a dusting of cheese, while others champion the round, cheese-heavy versions. Every shop claims authenticity, and the title Pizza Capital of the World is guarded fiercely. Philadelphia's tomato pie stands apart with its thick focaccia base, sweet tomato sauce, and grated Romano. Always served at room temperature, it is pie, not pizza, and locals insist on the distinction. Altoona's version surprises with a thick Sicilian-style crust, American cheese, salami, and green peppers. A style born in a local hotel that has divided opinions ever since. Greek pizza, a New England diner staple since the 1950s, relies on oil-slicked pans for a chewy, golden crust and an oregano-heavy sauce. Roman-style pan pizza, baked in olive-oiled rectangles, delivers a crunchy, airy bite, with no strict rules, just satisfying street food. St. Louis pizza arrives, crispy and brittle, its unleavened crust snapping under pressure. The cheese is Provel, a processed blend of provolone, Swiss, and cheddar, melting into a smoky, tangy layer that has become the city's signature. Since the 1960s, Imo's has served these pies in a party cut, a grid of small squares with toppings spread edge to edge. There is no crust to grip, just bite after bite of cheese and sauce, passed around family tables and bar tops. In the Midwest, the tavern-style pie follows suit. Born as a bar snack in the 1940s, it is cracker-thin, loaded with toppings, and always cut into squares. The slices are small, the crust is snappy, and the mood is communal. In Quad City towns along the Iowa and Illinois border, the crust turns malty and chewy, thanks to barley malt syrup in the dough. After baking, the pie is sliced into strips, not squares, and served with a packet of spicy seasoning, a nod to local tastes, and the urge to customize every bite. Ohio Valley Tavern pizza layers provolone and mozzarella over a thin crust, with sauce spread to the edge. Cheese often goes on cold after baking, melting gently from the pie's heat and crisping at the border as it cools. In Colorado, Bo Joe's mountain pies arrive with thick, braided crusts and a squeeze bottle of honey. Here, the crust is dessert, dipped in honey, and pies are priced by the pound, a sweet, high-altitude twist on tradition. Each slice isn't just a recipe. It's living proof that culture evolves with every oven, every debate, and every bite. As new styles emerge and old ones spark fierce loyalty, pizza remains a mirror of who we are right now. Every style tells a story still unfolding,